Yo, what up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'd like to wish everyone a happy 4th of July. Hope everybody enjoyed it. I usually don't like to have days off trading. I'm sure a lot of you don't, but I definitely think it was nice to have a little break this week during the week. So, as promised, going to be doing a few videos tonight and tomorrow. Got a couple topics. I like to keep each video kind of topic specific. So, this first topic, I want to basically just go over what's been happening in the small cap world. Everybody has their niche, and I really just like to focus on these small caps. So, that's what I'm going to be talking about um, in this video. And what's been happening in terms of herd effect. Everyone has their own name for it. I like to call it herd effect, which is basically when um, one stock makes a really big move, and then the rest of these stocks within the same sector usually, sometimes you get outliers outside of the sector start to make huge runs. And GBR was definitely the one that started to move the oil and gas sector. So reoccurring theme, reverse split. Fundamentally, GBR is garbage, but it's been known to make runs in the past. You can look at the weekly chart. So this thing, reverse split, super low flow, about 2 million shares. Then once it got over this kind of 2.5 to 3 level, it absolutely exploded. This is when shorts get in early, a combination of float rotation and short squeeze, I would say, and basically goes from sub $2 to as high as 13. Um, and I tell people all the time, the lower the float, the harder the borrow. So this one is a very difficult borrow. Once I started to get in the nosebleed. So this went from actually about a buck 70, where it kind of trapped. And this goes into reoccurring theme lately in the market. Not only herd effect, but trapping very, very easily, especially on the swing. Whether you're long or short. Lately, it's been shorts getting squeezed, and I've been super hesitant to get involved on the swing side because I've seen what's been happening not only in the oil sector but in sectors prior to this. So GBR day one move, huge rip from a buck 50 to 350, fades all day. I actually did okay on this today. Did not swing, and it seemed like a lot of people must have, and because it absolutely exploded. And once you got over the first day's high, shorts are trapped, and it held above this 350 level and then just consolidated and then squeezed. Now, this was the even crazier move, and the reason I want to point this move out, and we'll go on the 10-minute time frame, is because this was the first move of the trap, and this was the second trap. Very similar in terms of pattern. So on the short side, I know a lot of people, whether you got squeezed or long to this pre-market move, which happened on Friday, very difficult to decide, am I covering or adding here, and is this just the trap? And I think that's been the question lately, is what to do. So once this GBR trapped, and I think someone got squeezed, whatever it was, something shady happened here where insiders dumped on Friday, I believe, around 11. So a combination of short squeeze and that move happens so fast that once you have the squeeze above the prior day's high, once we get back below that is when you want to be shorting. And that's the confirmation for me, at least, when we're in backside. So once GBR cracked after the major run it had, and cracked super fast, I'm talking probably the fastest drop I've seen in a while, from 13 to 4. Sick range. It goes to show you when these companies are fundamental garbage, you can't expect that long bias edge to work consistently all the time, because once everybody that's been trading for a little bit, and I haven't even been trading for that long, has seen what happens when gravity shifts. You just don't want to be the last one, as I say all the time, holding the bag. So once your GBR shifted, you had other runners that were um, moving in the same sector as well. This MXC, a lot tougher because lower float than GBR and lower volume as well, and made a move from 5 to 14. But that move was on, 1.4 million shares, 2 million shares, really not ideal. And, from a small account standpoint, definitely on the long side, but very difficult to be patient with the way the spread and liquidity was. But once again, on Friday, excuse me, I keep saying Friday, feels like the weekend. But Tuesday, when GBR shifted, MXC shifted as well and went from 14 where it peaked out. I had all this resistance peaked out and drawn out on the daily chart to figure out, because I was looking to short this on Tuesday and never got involved because of the way the liquidity and spread was, unfortunately. And the 14 is where it peaked out, right back to 8.5, so another nice range. Another one that cracked as well was that I traded was CEI, penny stock that was having crazy rips, but decent volume on this thing. This thing traded freaking 90 million shares when it went from a quarter to 1.75. So all I look at is on the 15-minute chart. You can see we were forming a lot of resistance around 90, and then this bounced from about 51. So I'm like, this can easily, if it breaks this 66, it's probably going back to the sub 50 level, I think. And I was looking to play that move on Tuesday with GBR cracking, and I basically just traded this really nice descending triangle and just nailed that for a quick 12-cent gain, something like that. And SAEX, another one. And this is like just as much trash as GBR. Former runner, reverse split. And shifted immediately with GBR. And I'm talking, this was my focus because it was the main sympathy off of GBR. And on Tuesday, it went from 3.7 to 3 within the first 4 minutes. So that's like 20% range within 4 minutes. And I had played this, well, but could always play it better, right? So 339 average, added a couple times. I posted the chart on Twitter and faded this and just basically kept recycling, covering, shorting, that type of move. And then I thought this had a lot of downside, and because it was up just as much as GBR almost, not as much, but in terms of the move. And once GBR shifted, I figured this was eventually going to go sub 2. And once the 250 cracked, it was lights out because there was no bids. And I think this was another oil name that chat rooms were involved in and didn't understand that it's fundamental garbage. So that long edge that was working for 3 days is not going to always work once gravity kicks in. So the other one that as well, this one I think was like a money shift because oil sector, once GBR cracked, low float, day one move, 90 cents to 250. And I remember in chat, I was too focused shorting these things, and I said, check out this TGC hitting the scanner. Me and Foos were laughing because it basically doubled within 5-6 minutes. So it's definitely tough with these names moving so aggressively to focus on 5 or 6. I'm more of a 2 to 3 type. And but just another example of the herd effect. This thing absolutely exploded. You get this nice trend break, backside, and this is when you can start shorting off of highs. Is how I do it. And but this was readily available to short, and that's been turning me off lately because then I feel like they get crowded easily. So this is a nice fade, and then just the continuation. So just really good example of herd effect, guys, and how small caps have continued to show zero correlation with the market. You don't even have to look at any index, and you can probably trade these things even better lately, in my opinion. So that's why I love them, and they've been super fun to trade. The market's been super enjoyable. And to finish it off, this is one more that was another ripper on Tuesday. That was what I was referring to in terms of sometimes you have other rippers that move with the herd effect that are not the same sector. This is specialty chemical, so not necessarily oil and gas. So this exploded as well on Tuesday, whether this was a chat pump or not, but 150 to 250 basically, right back down to 160 like nothing ever happened. So in terms of shorting these guys, a lot of it's tape reading, which I'm going to discuss in my next video, and it's understanding supply and demand. So I hope everybody's just enjoying these videos. Look forward to pumping out more. Hope everybody has a happy 4th, and I'll catch everybody on the next one.